If I seem less energetic or don't move around a lot for this video, please excuse me. I have what we call in the industry a disgustingly wicked sunburn. Fusion cuisine is something that's pretty common in most countries around the world, whether it's Tex-Mex or Japanese Chinese food or, hell, more than half the stuff you find in California now. Fusion cuisine has always been based on the principle of taking some of the best parts of different cultures' dishes and mixing them together in the hopes of creating something better. However, this can backfire. And I think one of the best examples of failed fusion cuisine can be seen in a video uploaded by our old friend Ironwrath. I may be using the term fusion cuisine very loosely with this video. I would still consider it somewhat of an attempt. This video in particular is something that quite a few of you have suggested, so let's just sit back and jump right into Ironwrath's Asshole Cooking Show once again. This is the Asshole Cooking Show, episode 69, Pizza Burger. Before we get started, as always, make sure to like and subscribe. As you all know, last week we had our 1,000 subscriber special, and we're slowly growing from there still. Let's see how long it'll take us to hit 5K next. And if you are subscribed and have thought about supporting the channel further, why not consider joining the channel as a member or signing up to become a patron for Patreon? The link for both of those are in the description down below. Thanks for your support, and let's keep growing.
It's the show, it is the show, the show, the show, another episode of the Asshole Cooking Show. It is the show.
Ironwrath does have a pretty good intro setup conceptually of having his theme song play out or him singing it out loud and showing a variety of the ingredients that he's going to be using in the recipe. Instead of having the same intro repeating over and over again with the same visuals, it is a neat little preview of the natural disaster that is yet to come.
Today we're going to do, this is going to be like similar to the pizza burger you used to have in the school lunches back when you were in school. This is what this ended up tasting like when...
I have no idea what the hell he's talking about in regards to a classic school-style pizza burger. We had pizza for school lunches, whether it be the weird octagonal Mexican pizzas or the regular rectangular school pizzas. I have no idea what he's referring to when he's talking about a school pizza burger. The only history or background I could find on any sort of school pizza burger was one recipe on a website that said that it was like an old Minnesotan school kind of thing, but I don't know how accurate that is. So if you know, let me know.
But anyway, I'm going to start cooking up this ground meat. We're going to drain the grease out afterwards, and that's going to be very important, drain all the grease out. But
is he cooking his ground beef in a pot?
Right now we're going to do, while that's cooking, we're going to prepare the ingredients here.
Yep, that's right. We're seeing the return of Ironwrath's trusty old pasteurized processed American cheese product. The same cheese that was used to flavor his oh-so-wonderful macaroni and cheese in the last video.
We're going to cut up this, well, we can slice the cheese when it's about ready, but I'm going to slice it and get it prepared like now because I think it take too long enough.
It's odd to think about the fact that Ironwrath has at least some sort of semblance of a thought of mise en place, which is essentially the practice of having all your ingredients pre-measured, pre-laid out, ready to be combined as you go through the recipe, rather than having to measure and cut up things as you're going through.
I'm going to take care of these corn biscuits. We're going to use the corn biscuits instead of cornflake crumbs, but if you have cornflakes to squeeze up or you want to buy cornflake crumbs.
Another thing I've never heard of until this point, corn biscuits. It's essentially Life cereal, but it's a different brand. It's not a new concept to have off-brand versions of other cereals, but just the name corn biscuits is something that I wouldn't associate as a Life knockoff. If you hear the name Fruit Spins, you might say, okay, that's probably something along the lines of Fruit Loops. You hear corn biscuits, your first thought doesn't go to, oh, that's Life. Also, I am terrified of how corn biscuit cereal is going to incorporate into a pizza burger recipe.
we're gonna after that, we're gonna put it in a pan, and then we're gonna melt the cheese on it. It's gonna be really good. So
I'm genuinely worried that the Nesquik strawberry and chocolate milk powder is part of his mise en place. I don't think it is. I would assume it's not, but you never know.
Here, I'm gonna just do this for now. I'm gonna take these out of here. And we're gonna just dump them in here for now, and then of course we're gonna throw this box away. I like this kind of stuff, you know why? Because when you pulverize it, it squashes way better than... That's why I made a meatloaf with this. I'm going to do another... There's another way I want to do meatloaf, and I'm going to use this too.
That's actually not a terrible idea coming from Ironwrath. Using a cereal like this in place of breadcrumbs for meatloaf might work out pretty well.
I like this a lot because instead of, cornflakes or cornflake crumbs, this squeezes up and smushes very good. All you got to do is, this is the fun part. I mean, when you go into something like this, I mean, if you're not having some fun, even if you screw it up a little bit, you're not really cooking if you're not having fun.
Man, Ironwrath's breaking out like the strong philosophy stuff on us, isn't he? I do agree with him. Cooking is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an enjoyable experience. Why is he kind of winning me over so far?
This is going to be mixed with the meat after you drain it. We're going to cook this and we're going to get all this meat out here.
Okay, nope, he lost me again. Why did he say you're going to drain your meat? Maybe he means like drain the grease out.
We're going to cut up this brick of cheese. I took it out of the box here. This is like a generic Velveeta. Like this right here. You can, it comes in a brick. I've acquired it in places. We're going to cut it in slices the best we can. It don't got to be perfect.
I am an advocate for using Kraft singles. Yes, it may not technically be real cheese, but it is, in my opinion, the best cheese to use on a grilled cheese sandwich. It's made to create the quintessential grilled cheese. That's not what we're here to talk about, though, but I do enjoy Kraft singles. Something like this, on the other hand, I am not the kind of person that just goes out and buys a brick of Velveeta, because that feels like the most manufactured plastic that you could buy, and that's coming from me. I love trashy, junk, gross, processed food. Just something about Velveeta and processed cheese like that is just so off-putting. It's not hiding or trying to disguise what it is. It is just a single brick of cheese product. It's not trying to fancy itself up in any way. It's just going, here's your lump of garbage for you to put in your body.
Don't want them to be too thick, but they're somewhat thick because they're going to be melted on top. I don't know, that might be a little too thick if you can go a little thinner.
I would also never put Velveeta on a burger.
But we're going to cut this whole thing up. And we're going to cover, when you'll see what I am going to do. And when the time comes, we're going to put this on top of the meat. When we bake it, after we cook it, we're going to put it in a pan and we're going to bake it for some time.
I've never much paid attention to Ironwrath's knife skills. The fact that he's using what appears to be a steak knife to cut cheese is both irritating and completely in the norm for him.
Don't gotta be really perfect. Oops, that's a little thick. I can fix that later, but I want to make sure it's distributed all over the thing when you bake it. So that's good right there.
He keeps talking about wanting to slice the cheese thinner and thinner because he keeps accidentally cutting bigger slices, but with each subsequent cut, he cuts an even bigger chunk of cheese off.
A bunch of slices here, and we're gonna get ready then for the next step.
Those are not slices. Those are hunks of cheese.
All right, we're going to give this another few minutes. Some of this is still raw here, but just checking on it.
I can't tell if he's boiling his meat or it's just cooking in its own grease.
What we're going to do next, we're going to get rid of this damn grease. So, got my strainer here. And we got to be careful not to strain myself here. Whatever you do, don't strain yourself, when you're using the strainer. I'm going to pour all this in here.
No, I think that was just all the grease from cooking the meat. What kind of 20 lean, 80% fat beef are you using that you created that much grease?
Then I'm going to scrape this out of the pot. But we're going to rinse this off with some water because when I mix my crumbs and all that, I don't want to be burning myself. And then we're going to wash. I'm steaming up the camera. Then we're going to wash all the damn ugly fat out of there. And plus, when I mix my crumbs, less chance of burning myself. But
no, never rinse or wash your beef. Ironwrath says that he does it to cool it off before he mixes it up with things. Here's a suggestion for you. Just let it cool off naturally. When you rinse your beef, cooked like this especially, you're washing what little bit of fat is left off of it, eliminating most semblance of flavor. If you season it later, that's one thing. You still shouldn't wash it. Just don't do that. Just let it cool off naturally. And while we're on the subject, stop washing your chicken. I see people all the time in comments on videos saying, why didn't you wash your chicken? That chicken is still bad. You need to rinse it with soap and water. What are you talking about? When you cook any meat, the heat destroys the bacteria, the germs that are on it. That is part of the whole process of cooking. Washing your chicken actually increases the risk of drawing out any underlying diseases that were in the chicken. It helps the bacteria spread, and it spreads it to other places in your kitchen as well that you may not wipe down thoroughly enough to eliminate it. If you wash your chicken, you are at a higher risk of getting sick than if you don't. I'm not sorry for the tangent, because quite frankly, some people desperately need to hear that.
They're good enough. Shake it out there.
And wave goodbye to any flavor that ground beef had left. Let's hope to God he at least seasons it.
I'm going to throw this in here and go like this, spread it out. I got to use both hands enough to show you. We're going to throw... Oops, sorry, the camera, I messed up. I almost tilted the camera away, but I'm going to do this off camera a little bit better, but you do this in a bowl with both hands like you're making your meatloaf, but we're going to mix this all up here.
Okay, this is a fairly normal procedure. Like he said, kind of if you're making meatloaf, usually you'd want to have a binding agent like some egg. This isn't going to stick together as well when it's just the meat and, in this case, the corn biscuits. It should still kind of stick, especially now that the meat is sopping wet with sink water.
And while I'm doing this here, oh, see how good this looks even like this. We're going to spread this out.
That looks good. Are we looking at the same thing? It looks like dry hamburger helper.
We're going to take some onion and garlic powder here, but
thank God he's at least seasoning his beef. That doesn't make up for rinsing it off still, but it does make it a little better.
We're going to go real easy on the garlic powder because, if I can get the damn thing open.
This segment of the Ironwrath Crotch Cam is brought to you by Corn Biscuits.
I'm going to put a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. I actually will put a little bit more, but sometimes, it says me and my partner here both got to eat this. And
how is that a little bit? Anybody that uses garlic powder, onion powder, anything like that knows that a little bit will go a hell of a long way.
And onion, we're going to throw some onion powder in here. I'm doing a little bit more onion powder than the garlic powder, but screw it. There's not.
No! That's a whole shaker of onion powder. You're gonna be lucky if you taste anything else in that.
It's a small jar anyway. Not the whole thing. I had some left. This was partially used. It wasn't the whole thing. It was an teensy jar part used.
That was not a partial jar. That was the whole jar. And if you're not a cook that cooks like every day, that jar should last you at least half a year. He had the common decency to mix it up, but that's not going to eliminate the concentrated flavor of straight onion throughout the dish.
I almost always spray the pan in case anything sticks, but I actually forgot this time. But that's all right because it's not really going to stick anywhere with this because you got your meat. It's already kind of cooked.
I still don't see how this in any way has any pizza component to it, aside from cheese. That could be the burger part as well, though. And even calling this a burger at this point is a very loose definition. Yes, it is technically hamburger in the way that some people call ground beef hamburger, but it is not a hamburger.
Take these, I'll stick it over here where you can see. And we're going to line them up. That one I'm going to have to cut down. Well, damn it. Look at this. I made this one too thick too. I want to make sure that they're like covering the entire thing. Like say you get a piece here, here, and here.
It's giving cheeseburger casserole kind of thing. Not pizza burger by any means, but we still have a little bit to go.
We're going to put some foil on top of it so the heat distributes in there. And what we're going to do is the cheese is going to melt. I'm going to heat it for, I think it took about a little under an hour, like 45 minutes or so, not quite an hour. Did I bake this?
45 minutes to melt some Velveeta knockoff on top of meat? What setting are you putting your oven? Are you putting your oven on like 100 degrees Fahrenheit and letting it cook for 45 minutes?
You want the cheese to melt all over and look like pizza burgers.
What the hell is a pizza burger, Iron Wrath?
I'm going to wash all these dishes and all that crap in the meantime, but we're going to check on it. Take out the love glove here and
never call your oven mitt a love glove in front of me again.
I'm gonna take a look at this. Ugh. And pull this off. All right, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that.
It looks like some melted cheese on top of some ground beef.
Turned out so nice. Turned out pretty nice. Get this out of here, have dinner for two. Oh, this melted better than the last one. See, I gauged it just about right. I wasn't even going to check it yet. But that melted pretty good. I didn't even have that in a half hour. I had it like, what, 20 minutes?
You only had it in 20 minutes and it melted that much? Golly gee, Iron Wrath. Now who could have predicted that? Alright, so he's got it cooked. He's got the cheese melted on top. What's next for the dish, buddy?
Let me get this. Start some of this here. Get this here and have dinner for two. Kind of.
Are you cutting it up and then you're going to put other stuff on top of it?
Try to get this out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Splat. The only thing when you get it out fresh and hot, it kind of, almost like the way the lasagnas when you take it out right fresh and hot instead of... Don't matter, it still tastes damn good.
Okay, now you're gonna do like some weird shit, like put pizza sauce or something on top of it, right? It's gotta be what's coming up next.
Yeah, look at that. I'm gonna serve mine. Get mine out. Now we're gonna have some for later. Have to scrape it off here with the fork a little bit, but yeah, when it's good and hot like this, it's like a lasagna. When you take it out like in chunks after it's chilled, heat it up a little bit, but doesn't matter, it tastes good all the same.
You already said that, I'm pretty sure. I'm starting to get some weird existential sinking feeling in my gut here. I don't know if it's the deja vu or something else.
Yeah. Damn it! Yeah, it's going to come apart a little bit, but hell, it's still going to be gone the same way when you eat it anyway, when you chew it up and swallow it.
Of course it's going to come apart. It is ground beef, cheese, and Chex. There's no binding agent for it like egg or something like that to hold it together like a meatloaf. Of course it's just going to fall apart. It is essentially loose ground beef covered in cheese. Okay, he's got it plated. What's next?
But say, if you wait a while, you can cut it and it'll be like in a chunk, but... All right, and we'll probably have seconds later. But, there you have it.
What do you mean, there you have it? That's not the end of the recipe, is it? That can't possibly be the end of the recipe, right?
Man, this is really good tasting. I made it before. It's pretty damn good. If you want to wait and chill it a little bit like we do a lasagna, like say you eat some lasagna, it's going to come out like that. When it's hot, that's how it's going to come.
Yeah, you've said that twice already, Ironwrath.
But say you have this left over for later, and you cut a piece off and put it in a dish, it's going to be like in a slab. But like when you're hungry and you're anxious to eat, it's going to be like this. But still good.
Where's the pizza part, Ironwrath? There's gotta be another step. Where's the pizza part? We only have less than a minute left on this video. Where's the pizza part?
And if you want to put it in a bun or in bread like Sloppy Joe, that's what I'm saying too. Or like the pizza burger you have in school.
What is the pizza burger you have at school?
Alrighty then. That ends this episode.
What do you mean that ends this episode? Where's the pizza burger? Where's the pizza? How in any way, shape, or form is this a pizza or a burger? You know what? I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to go downstairs and make me a snack real quick. I'd like to get some cheese and a tortilla and heat that up with some peanut butter and jelly. My world famous lasagna bologna sandwich. What? And that's where we're going to end this video, folks. Remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have any other Ironwrath videos or any cooking videos or YouTube videos, TikToks, TV shows that you want me to take a look at because you think they're weird or funny. As always, thanks y'all for supporting and sticking around, and hope to see y'all in the next one. See ya.
And if I never leave the house again, I'll put myself on ice, head in the sand. When you have all the time, but no good plans, why get up, just stay in bed? Why get